West Coast DNA, another bonus episode. Today we have Mike Hatfield here. Welcome, Mike.
Hello.
So, Mike Hatfield, for those viewers that are unaware, is one of the founding members of the Jam Sessions podcast that we have mentioned a couple times. Has a part in the origins of this podcast because my brother and I had actually been working with that podcast previous to doing this one. So, Mike, you have the unique annual birthday party that many music fans probably daydream about. So at some point in your life, you made it a reality, and every year for your birthday, you have a little mini music festival.
Yeah, it's growing into something, a festival, because it didn't start off as a festival. It just started off as I was turning 40, and I just wanted to have a big, because it was my 40th, to have a big party. And I had a bunch of friends that were in bands, and I just said, I'm going to get all my friends that are in bands, I'll play at my party and have a big bash. And it was just at the North End Rec Center. And it was a blast. It was a great night. It was Frail, The Bomb Solid, Dinosaur Neil, and Days at that time was that those were the bands I had for that. And my old band did a reunion show.
Yes.
We get up there and play a couple songs. So it was a special night. Everybody was like, you got to do this every year, Mike. This, because it would turn out to be a really good event. And I was like, maybe. I was like, I made an excuse because it was 40. I said, if I could figure out a way to make it bigger, then maybe I'll do it again next year. Well, next year was the green Jello one.
And how did that, we know each other, and I was at that show, but I really don't know how that even happened. Like, you just randomly reached out to them? Or
yes.
Yeah.
So the next year, I was like, okay, if I do another one, how am I going to make it bigger and better? And I kept on thinking of this. I was like, you got to make it bigger and better, or don't do it. That was my mindset. And it was like, I seen Green Jello was playing in Halifax on my Facebook, and I was like, and it was August. It was around my birthday, and I was like, well, maybe I can get them. I said, if I had them, then that would be bigger and better if I had Green Jello come play me. And it was just I didn't think it was really possible, to be honest. But then I went to their website, and there was a contact us button, and I just hit contact us, and it took me right to Bill Manspeaker's Facebook page, which I thought was weird at the time.
Yeah.
And I said, frigate, so I messaged him, and I said, hey, I see you're playing in Nova Scotia in August. I said, if you're interested in making more money, add another show. I made sure, I threw in the money part of things, because, anybody,
if they don't know you, that works.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said, I'll make it a big thing. It'll be for my birthday. And then he wrote me back, and then we just started talking, and I made and then just to sum it up, I made it happen. So
that's awesome.
The cool part was I got to form my own band, and your brother,
Andrew,
which you guys all know, is got to be in the band. So and I got to form. I got the guys from the Bomb Solid, and then there were some other people that it was a big. There was I think 11 members on the stage or something like that. And it was
crazy night. But
I made it bigger and better, and then it was like, well, now here we are. This is the 6th year. Now, this 3rd year doing it at Music Mountain, Thorburn, Nova Scotia, everybody, September 2nd. And I just kept trying to make it bigger and better every year. I mean, I don't know if, I've never been able to get a big as band as Green Jello, but I've been trying to keep it local in the Nova Scotia scene going on. And this year I've kind of gone a little heavier, I'd have to say. I kind of went with and then since it's my 6th year doing it, that's why I went with MIkefest 666. And just because it kind of had a heavier feel to it, it just kind of suited. I figured just it kind of sticks out when you see it on the poster, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, what is this MIkefest 666? Because not everybody knows what this is still. It's still growing, and I think this year it's getting the most attention that I've had so far.
You got a good lineup. And you did go heavier, but I did notice, like looking at lineups for the festivals in the summer for heavier bands, there will be one or two bands maybe on a lineup, but you've got like a full day of bands going.
And they're not all like super heavy.
Mhm.
There's a variety of styles, that's for sure. So like you're gonna get like my main headliner, the East River Rats. They're Celtic, they're Celtic punk rock
Yeah.
or whatever. I wouldn't really consider them super heavy. But then I got thrash, so you got punk in there because I got the Beach Babes. And then I also have my first time I have a rapper this year. I got Breezy Borden.
Yes, we had Breezy on just not long ago.
So I even have rap. There's even just hard rock. We got Bomb Solid. We can call that. I don't know even know what category you put them into. So
yeah, the 2-piece bands don't really get genre labels on my side. I'm just like, they're good.
So it's not like super crazy heavy. I made sure in a way, like I like the extreme. I could go total death metal if I wanted to, but I gotta try to find something that's like, this is a party, something that everybody can enjoy, and not, but still I wanted some headbang and stuff in there. I'm the one that brings the metal to the mountain there for sure.
Yes, for sure. So it's a 1-day event or
1-day event. I could have done a 2-day event, but I didn't want to push it. I said, so it's looking like if this keeps growing like I want it to, next year we'll probably do a whole weekend thing. But this year I decided to just do a full day. It's going to be from noon until 2 a.m. So it's going to be 14 hours of music. And I can probably tell you right now, because I've been thinking about it lots in my head of all the bands that are playing in order. So it's going to be Breezy Borden opening up. Then it's going to be Beach Babes, which is fronted by Nick Rocky. He's been in a lot of different punk bands. Then we're going to have Andrew Spicer, this will be his third time playing at my events. I'm a big fan of him. He's been on Jam Sessions podcast.
He does awesome by himself to
one-man
be
rock
able to
band.
get everything going. Like
he's a one-man rock band. He's got that '90s sound. So there's another style that I never mentioned.
Yeah,
he's got everything he does kind of just brings you flashbacks to the '90s. Right?
Absolutely.
And then you got Adam McBain, who's been really rocking it these days. He's got a lot of good singles that are hitting the top of the charts and stuff.
Yeah,
so
we've been in touch. I want to get him on here soon too.
He's I'm excited that he's there. And then I've got Denacious T.
Yeah, the Tenacious D cover band.
Yes, and I just had them. I had a Christmas MIkefest in December, and they played for me there.
Okay, and
they're amazing. I recommend anybody that's coming to MIkefest to get there early enough to see all these people. But this is the closest thing to Tenacious D you're gonna get. Like they're hilarious. They put on a really good show, and they're really good musicians. So, and they're considered one of my opening acts. So then we're getting into the Chosen Lung, which is a band that I'm probably the least familiar of all the bands.
Oh, we should talk when we stop recording. I know a little bit about them.
Yes, so. I've checked out some of their stuff, but I'm really curious about them. They're like a doom metal band with a female vocalist that doesn't really has like a, how is this the best way to describe her vocal style?
She previously sang with Factory Girls.
Oh,
and which is. That's more folk,
right?
Traditional singing. Like
it's not what you would expect with a doom metal band.
Mm-hmm.
Her style of vocals, like it's I don't know, she's got a beautiful voice, and it's just. Oh yeah,
and everybody should come to MIkefest and check it out.
Right, they're on at around I think it's 4:00, 4:45, and. They're my only band that I wanted to make sure I had at least one female fronted band, and they're the only ones that I got. So that's another variety that I want to throw in there. Then after them, that's going to be the only Vultures left, and this will be the 4th year in a row that they've played for me.
I was going to say they're pretty much like they have to play your parties now.
So, yeah, if you've been there before. You know who I'm talking about. Fred Martel and Tommy Worthen are in the band, who are actually from Pictou County, but only Vultures left. They base themselves out of Halifax, but 2 guys in the band are Pictou County blood in them. Mm-hmm. So they love coming home. It's their favorite show of the year, they say, is coming to MIkefest. And then after only Vultures left, we got Frail.
Yes.
And I don't really know too much, but from what I'm hearing, Frail are going to bring their heavy heavy stuff.
I did. I mean, it's not even a sneak peek because I did not get an interview in with them yet, but I do have a couple of their songs recorded and all queued up with video and stuff ready to go when I do get an interview. So they're sounding pretty good.
Yeah, but I guess they want to put together their what they consider their heaviest songs and and put them all in a set because they've seen the other bands that are playing, so they're gonna bring the heavy stuff. So that makes me excited to see what Frail sets.
Nice little birthday gift for you.
Yeah, and then we get the Bomb Solid, which are the only band that have played every one of my events.
Really?
So it'll be the 6th year in a row. They're probably my favorites because they're my boys.
Oh yeah.
I just they're the best duo. If you've been one of my Mike Hiltz and Eli, they're such a great combo. Good old fun stoner music, I guess you could call it. If you don't know who they are, man, you got to come check it out. They're going to be on, and there is. I'm not really thinking I should tell. There's going to be a little surprise in their set.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how much I should say.
Teases are just as good as spoilers.
I'll just give it away. I think I should just say it without saying exactly what I'll be singing, but I'm getting up and singing a song with them.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
That's very exciting for me. So I am going to get up and sing a song with the Bomb Solid. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
After them, we got, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh, yeah, Dogs of Sun.
Okay, yes.
Dogs of Sun played for me last year. They were my opening band, which I felt bad for them, but they asked me after I had everything set up. And then I said, you know what, I'd like to fit you in, but you're going to have to be first. And I'll just start it an hour earlier.
Yeah.
The best opening band I've ever had.
Yeah, I was going to say the disappointment in being an open band. Like, oh, damn, they should have been later because there'd be more people.
Because they were, well, yeah, I wish, but no. So this year I got them in a better spot. They'll be on between 8 and 9 this year. And then after them, I got the Meat Sweats, which I'm super pumped to have them.
No, that's one I didn't know. Who's in that?
Well, actually, one of the guys that's in the Denacious T cover band is in the Meat Sweats.
Okay.
He's also been in another band called Brain Fog. His name's Stefan Sampson. He's also known as the fattest pro skater. He's an amazing skateboarder, and he's a big guy. So that's his name on Instagram, the fattest pro skater. But he's an amazing musician, and the Meat Sweats are right down my alley for... they're just a band that's like... They kind of have like a DRI, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if I was to describe a band that I think of, but they're comedic and most of their songs are about meat, and and how they hate vegetables, and it's a good gimmick. A salute to meat, right? So they'll have a song about hamburger and a song about bacon, and they have their newest single is Kentucky Fried Death. So it's about how they should have went to Taco Bell instead of going to KFC. Kentucky Fried Death. Awesome. So that's kind of their themes, and they're actually I think just something maybe I should mention now is that a lot of people have been asking me. One of the big questions I've been getting through my email is this an all ages show or a plus 19 show? And it's because I guess the Meat Sweats have some younger fans that want to come and see the Meat Sweats. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you can come if you're with an adult. That's the answer to the question, is that it's not an all-ages show, but you can if you have the supervision of an adult that will take you. I just can't be responsible for any young people there. So as long as they are someone there to take responsibility for their actions, then that's fine by me.
But for the bigger part, I guess it's still, even though it's your birthday, it's a public event and people can go online and buy tickets, or how do people get tickets for this?
That's a good question. Right now you get tickets through me, you just buy e-transfer to Mike Hatfield at hotmail.ca. Now make sure it's .ca, not .com. And it's $60 this year, and that includes free camping, so camping's on site. There's also bathrooms going to be provided there. I am working on a food truck. I haven't got one yet, but I'm really working on it. I have a plan B. If I don't get one, I'll just do the same thing I did last year. I have worked for a pizza place, Pictou County Pizza, and my boss will donate pizzas all night and we can sell slices. But I was hoping, really hoping, because it's a long day this year, that I should have a food truck there, because I think that would be much better. So I'm working on it. Hopefully I'll get one. And if I do, the Darcy will have my event page in the links. If you're following my event page, then all updates about everything will be on there. And I'll definitely make an update once I get a food truck lined up.
Perfect.
What was your question? I think I got really went
Just
off
more
track
so
there.
that all of that event, but to get the tickets.
Oh yeah,
people
Mike
just
Hatfield. Yeah, it's
contact
$60 at MikeHatfield.ca.
you. Yeah.
So I am gonna do $65 cash at the gate if you don't get your tickets ahead of time. So it's just what I do is I just write your name down on a piece of paper. It's just pretty old school, and when you show up at the gate, you just say your name, and then they'll put a bracelet on you and let you in. It's maybe next year I might get a little more advanced and use some event, one of those event ones that do it for you.
Few management things, yeah.
But this works for me so far. It seems to be pretty easy going. It's just I know some people that may not know me might be reluctant to do it that way. So
It does help with using different venues. Like Music Mountain is known as a place to go
and I'm
listen to
building,
bands all day.
and
So
people hopefully are starting to. I'm getting well known.
Yeah,
and
because it's been a few years now too. Yeah, exactly.
And, trust. Yeah, you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
That's another thing I like to mention is that so far, look, knock on some wood here, is my events have been just nothing but good positive vibes, friendly people. It's about a celebration of music, friends getting together. Like the bands themselves kind of set the vibe, and I usually am very careful with which bands I select that are going to be just to have a good time, no egos. It's just a fun night, and I'd recommend even if you're not into the super heavy stuff, just to be around the people there, you'd have a good time.
Yeah, it's that's one thing I was going to say too. That like it's great that you're able to do it for yourself. Like I said, lots of people daydream about doing something like that, but now that you've established it and been doing it continuously for a few years, it is nice, especially the last couple years, but really this year with the lineup, I noticed like those are a lot of bands that there's not a venue in Pictou County currently that would host them. So it's an opportunity for them to find a new audience, but it's also an opportunity for people from our region to go check out some bands that they wouldn't normally see because they don't want to drive for 2 hours to go to another place to see them and then have to drive 2 hours back. So it's good opportunities on both sides for exposure.
Because I made sure I want to have a lot of local bands, but this year I do have a lot of bands coming from Halifax this year. So if there's some of those bands from Halifax, I'm sure people around here have not seen or know anything about, but they do see some of these local bands like the East River Rats and Bomb Solid and Frail that they are familiar with, and Makbain and stuff that they're like, we'll go to see them, and then they get a chance to see some of these other ones that I have put there, and
you're pulling from two different directions and then providing the chance for exposure for everyone else because of it, because it really is like you say, if you're a Pictou County person that knows the Pictou County bands, you know that you can be comfortable going, that there's a good healthy lineup of people that you're aware of, and vice versa. If maybe you always see Pictou County bands, so you're like, well, why do I want to go see them all today? Well, there's a bunch of different bands on the lineup too, so there's a little bit of something for everything.
The bands, I think, are the most excited about this than anybody.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed about my events is that the bands love it. Like they're growing it for me with it was actually very easy to put my lineup together because the band, like other bands that are on this card this year, reached out to me to be on it because they heard through other bands how cool it was.
Yeah, see, that's great.
So I actually had some last year that wanted to be part of last year that everything was already booked, and I said, well, no, I'll keep you in mind for next year, and that's what I did. So this year was actually kind of my super lineup. Of like I just all the bands that I've usually always have, but then some extras added on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like my super lineup. A lot of these bands have been on my podcast before and interviewed them, and it just keeps growing. Like it's on its own. I know I'm
Yeah.
not even really.
It's
growing on its own.
Yeah, you did a lot of work to get the train rolling, and now you're the conductor but it's moving.
Yeah.
Like it's already rolling. So.
And some people ask me why I do it, and I'm like, well, if I don't do it, like someone has to do it. Like this thing has to happen, as far as I'm concerned. Like we need to have this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't do it, then I don't know if anybody else will. That's just the way I feel.
I'm sure that's not uncommon with people like ourselves, because that's why I do this podcast. It's the exact same thing. It's like, well, I don't have to do it, but like someone has to do it.
That's what I really feel like. I know it's going to be a good time, and I got all this cool stuff I'm doing this summer. But I'll tell you, the most thing I'm excited about
is the end of summer.
Is the thing I'm doing. Like I'm going to see Metallica and Megadeth.
Yeah,
some other cool shit, and but MIkefest is what's exciting to me more than anything. And maybe it's because I know I'm going to be surrounded by a lot of close friends and family. Like a lot of my family support me in this.
Yeah,
and a lot of my close friends will always be there every year, and it is a celebration. It started as a celebration of my birthday, but I more want to celebrate just music.
Yeah,
and just being with my friends. That's what the original idea was, is just to be with all my closest friends and family. And I'm just blessed that I happen to be friends with so many talented people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wanted to do the podcast. That's why I wanted to do these parties, is because I just feel blessed to know these people, and I just wanted to showcase it. I feel like more people need to know, like,
mm-hmm.
we got an extremely talented.
There's an overwhelming amount of talent in the region right now, and like I say it all the time, so maybe it loses some of its meaning to some of the people hearing me say it repeatedly. But like, it is so true. There's like a ridiculous amount, not just people that are interested in playing music, but like actually talented people that are currently making music.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're just all trying to make a go. A lot of them are making a go. Like there's a lot of stuff happening in our region. So having opportunities for bands to play events like that are awesome. And especially, like I said, that's maybe a different lineup than we would normally see in our region. And it's given exposure for people from our region to them and vice versa. So like, wonderful to see it keep going. And I hope it's super successful so that you can try new stuff in the next couple of years as well. It'd be exciting to see what 7 and 8 are going to look like, because eventually we're going to have to get to 10.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I'd like to see me celebrate my 50th and still doing these. So
if you could do that one solid decade, like even if you never did it again, like to have one solid decade of birthday concerts would be phenomenal.
I'm not going to tell too much, but all this is I'm hoping that this is
building to something
for maybe a career of mine at some point. It would be nice if I could do stuff like this and make a living out of it, just so people know. Usually when I put these events on, I don't usually make money. I sometimes lose money, but it's just worth it to me to put on a big thing, and it's cost me a couple $100, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're liking to promote the bands, and then you get a big party out of it. So
right.
I mean,
it's worth it for me. So but it'd be nice if someday I could be doing this as like part of a career. Then that's why I'm going to continue doing it, because I think it is leading to maybe something bigger for me in the future.
Yeah. Well, if the industry keeps popping out all these bands over the next few years, there's going to be a lot of people looking for help getting out there too. So
before we go, I just want to finish off the last of the lineup, because I didn't finish.
Yeah.
We stopped at the Meat Sweats, and there's 3 more bands to end off the night. And the next after the Meat Sweats is going to be Shadow of Everest.
Awesome.
And this will be a first time that they're playing for me. they're one of those bands I've mentioned that wanted to play last year, but it was already booked up.
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, I'll keep you in mind for this year. So I reached out to them, and they were on board for this year. And I've never seen them live. I've been listening to their most recent album a lot, though. I really, really like it. And I'm really excited to see these guys. I think they're probably the most progressive band of all the bands that I have. So if you're into progressive metal, then I think these guys probably are the most progressive of all of them.
They made a couple of our earlier playlists for the podcast, like the companion playlist. I know they were on a couple of those.
So they're going to be on from 10:30 to 11:30. That's I think a prime spot for them. And then after them, I got Turbo, which, my God, these guys put on a show. I've seen them live a couple times in the last few months, actually, and they're on a pretty good roll right now. That's probably why I have them rated near the second last. And they just how do I describe Turbo? They're just fast as fuck.
Yeah,
metal.
That's how you describe it.
They even make me laugh. They had this one when I seen them live. They say, okay, we're gonna play a slow one, and then they freaking start playing the most fastest, craziest thing you ever hear. And then they, after the song's over, they're like, sorry, we're just joking. We don't have any slow songs. And
that's awesome. You probably can't see it from the angle you're on, but there's one of their band stickers on the backside of it.
And their merch game is on point. You can get, as you can see, this hat. They got all kinds of cool different design shirts. They got like deodorant and friggin' all kinds of different things you can buy that has a Turbo label on it.
Yes.
And that goes back to something I wanted to mention too, is MIkefest is going to have the coolest friggin' merch table this year. Because I encouraged them all the artists to bring all their stuff. And that's one of the best ways you can help support them too, is to come by and buy a shirt or something. And I'll probably have I will have some MIkefest shirts to sell, because I know some people will buy them.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool having that MIkefest 666, and I'm going to try to get all their logos on it somehow or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I did see that you had posted something on social media there about the merch table, and that is exciting, because myself being a big music fan, I always gravitate to the merch tables, but a concert like this would not typically even have one. So the fact that you're going through the trouble to put one together that includes everyone is awesome. Well,
yeah, it's partly to do with I have a group chat with all the bands, and someone in the group chat mentioned it and asked if I was going to do one, and then everybody in the chat kind of just went, yes, we got to do one. Sweet. So it kind of grew back. I always wanted to do one, but the bands themselves want one just as bad as I do. So
just in time for back to school, get all your T-shirts and stuff for the.
Yeah, this is Labor Day weekend, so this is the last
hurrah,
summer, right? So after that, the kiddies are going back to school, back to normal life again. And I think maybe that's a good thing on my events. Just one night, you have your Sunday and Monday to recuperate.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Because you'll have Monday off too, right? So, but then we got the East River Rats to end the night, right?
Yeah, that's a cool way to cap the night off.
I think so, because they get it's like the good old drinking tunes, right? And I think they're the hometown locals too, right? So, and I know a lot of people are big fans of Mike and Eli from the Bomb Solid. They have a lot of people that come to my parties love the Bomb Solid, and with them boys being also in East River Rats, because this is the first time that they've played a party of mine.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get a good reception from the metal community, because they're playing after some heavy stuff. Right?
Yeah,
but everybody's going to be probably pretty drunk.
I am curious, because the East River Rats do have new material now.
Yeah, and it's a little more grittier than the first.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is like if just from being there for the night, if organically it's going to lend some of their heavier songs to be even heavier than normal.
Eli
in that
says
live
so.
environment. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's probably going to happen.
They're selecting what they would consider their heavier songs, the punkier,
Yeah.
the rockier stuff that they have. They're gonna put away. Their sound changed mainly because they don't have a fiddle, and they switched to bagpipe instead, and they added Danny Harvey on electric guitar. So they never really had electric guitar before.
Yeah.
And now they do. And Danny's a metalhead. So he's, even though he's not going to do all these crazy metal riffs to their music, but he's got that influence in his, so it's got that distorted guitar in there now. So the new album is way different than the first one.
I've heard a little bit of it so far, so
it's got a good. You can check out everything on your.
Yes, we got a MIkefest playlist over on Spotify, so there'll be a link for that in the description here as well.
So you got the new East River Rat songs on there. We will update the list as it needs. Like if somebody comes out with something new, we'll add her in there. And which reminds me, the Beach Babes are a new band, but they have 5 or 6 songs recorded. And soon, I don't know exactly what date they have, they're going to have those songs on Spotify and everything. So once they come out, we'll add those in there too. And, so just keep it here. If you want to check out and curious to what some of these guys are like, everything's in there.
Awesome.
I don't know what else I could say. I think we covered everything I wanted to say today.
Perfect. We'll transition into some music and get some interviews from some of these lineups for you, and then we'll see what people are saying out there and hopefully get you some ticket sales.
Yes. Get Mike Hatfield at hotmail.ca.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and we'll be talking again soon. Welcome, Frail. We got a good chunk of the band here today. So thanks for stopping over, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Been wanting to get you in front of the microphone for a while here. And actually, technically, I guess it would date back a couple years from when Jeph and I were working on his podcast together.
Wait, has it been that long?
Like
Years? It's been years?
It's been years now.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. I was actually surprised the other day when I was doing up some backup files and moving stuff around. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That's too many years. But yeah, it actually has been now. So Frail, for Pictou County people, definitely know the name.
Right.
You guys have been around for a little while now. And most notably, you had a single out that was a few years ago now. And then I think it was probably around the time that I was working with you, Jeph, on the Jam Sessions podcast. You guys had it out on radio then as well, kind of a re-release of the single. And
pretty much, yeah. Kind of, I don't want to say remastered, but kind of a relaunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, remember this?
And you guys did well with it in the East Coast countdowns and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
I know.
made it into the top 5 on the East Coast countdown. We didn't really push it too much. We just kind of let it go organically. And
Yeah.
It fizzled out. But
Yeah, no, and I remember you guys having a good little streak there, and
Yeah.
it was like it was going up and staying there. So I mean, it's great to see. And then some of your Pictou County peers have been doing that since that time as well.
Yeah.
I've been noticing, like Adam Makbain's been making a lot of traction this year. I know.
Yeah.
Dude's been busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing a show with him on June 10th at the Shoebox.
Yeah, I see that coming out, and that's one of the things that Adam's probably going to be on an upcoming episode. We did have a little reschedule there with him, so he's on our hit list for the future there for sure.
No pun intended.
And aside from this upcoming show at Shoebox, you guys are also on the bill for MIkefest at the end of the summer.
MIkefest 666.
Yeah, so that
be
looks
time.
like exciting weekend. There's a lot of lot of different bands that maybe don't play around here very often, and a couple definitely common bands from around here, but nice to have everybody on one bill.
Mm-hmm. Huge bill too.
It's like
14
or 15.
14
Yeah,
bands over
yeah.
14 hours.
It's quite impressive. He's putting a lot of effort into this one for sure.
Definitely.
So now you guys as a band, besides the fact that I was already aware of you and I see the upcoming shows and I see that you're playing with a few other bands that I follow as well, new content is something that I've been bugging Jeph specifically about for quite some time.
So what do you,
Me too.
let Max field that one because I'm
Yeah.
tired of it, Darcy.
That's what I'm wondering. Now, for anyone watching this, they're going to be treated to some clips that I snagged from a rehearsal that you guys were doing. And actually, if that's a rehearsal, I definitely want to see a new performance of you guys out live because that was... Maybe you were putting on for me. I don't know, but that was a real tight for a rehearsal.
That's just every Sunday, baby.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So I can tell that's what you guys have been doing is getting tight over the last couple of years. But yeah, new content's what I've really been digging for. What do you guys have coming up? Or you have a catalog that I haven't heard.
Yeah, well, we have 9 originals pretty much ready, and probably 2 or 3 more in the hopper that aren't really formed yet. We're just kind of playing around with them to kind of work them out, but we're
5 or 6 if you really think hard.
if I want to think hard. A couple acoustics maybe that would round it out.
Right?
But yeah, no, I mean we want to actually look at starting to get recording down with Gord over at the Sea Level Sounds. So we're just kind of doing a couple more shows, and that's kind of our goal is to get into the studio and finally release some stuff.
Did you guys do a rehearsal or something out there once?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember seeing some pictures.
Met Gord and kind of get
Cool.
a sound for the studio and things like that. And
Awesome.
It's just kind of a meet and greet. And this is what I can do for you guys if you can do this for me. And
Awesome. That's really
great
exciting.
communication. I mean, great, solid dude.
So is
Killer
this
spot,
upcoming date in Glasgow, is that kind of a kickoff to you guys pushing for the summer? You get a lot more dates coming up, or is this just a...
Well, we have a couple of shows, like we have the one with Adam on June 10th, and then July 22nd we're going out to Steinhardt Distillery out in Airside.
Cool.
And then MIkefest. I mean, that's all we booked this summer, and we're kind of hoping, we're all family guys, so kind of trying to
Scheduling's a bitch.
Yeah.
weave everything in together so we can find some time in the studio. That's our next goal, and like I said, it's just trying to bring everybody together to be able to do that.
So I imagine that some of these new songs, people will hear them in these shows that are coming up anyway.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and it's Steinhardt somewhere that you guys had played before as well.
Played there last
We
year.
love them.
Yeah.
They love us. It's
Yeah,
definitely a go back kind of place for sure.
Yeah,
With the nice weather, it's a beautiful spot to be sitting.
Man.
It was so sunny that day we were just like dying up there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We were simply meant to be.
Yeah, I get pretty warm on stage anyway.
Yeah.
And when it was 32 degrees in the
I can
sunshine, no shade.
And it's July again. This one coming up.
Yeah.
So it's shorts and tank tops because you're right in the sun. It is beautiful.
It's
spot.
gorgeous.
Like,
Right on the water.
Oh, breathtaking.
yeah.
But man, is it a hot stage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great.
But yeah, so the shows, we love them because it's what we want to do, but it's the thing that has funded the albums, or the album rather, I should say.
Yeah.
So keep coming to the shows because it's
It
gonna
helps us help you have new music.
Do you guys still have merch for sale too? Like you got the hat on right now.
We
but-
have to do a replenish.
Yeah,
we are
that's what I
sold
thought.
out
They
of all of our merch.
they were all over the county for a while. Like when they were new, I remember seeing them trickling out. But like there was a period there where like I don't think I could
Every
leave
second
the house.
person had one.
Yeah, especially the hats, like just everywhere. The Frail hats everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited to see more of those popping up in the future.
There will be for sure.
So for the new material, then, where it has been a couple of years since you had the single originally released, is there much of a difference with the sound now? Like, has it changed over the last couple of years?
Absolutely.
I personally think it has quite a bit. I'm the newest member of the band. I'm basically Frail's Jason Newsted, where I just sit there and I take shit from everybody.
Yeah.
Every
But he
single
takes
session.
it so well, so gracefully.
Because I have to.
Yeah.
Right? It's my role. But
It was mine, and then he came on, and I just sit back and
That's it.
drink coffee.
That's right. But it's all part of our dynamic, as we say. But no, I mean, when I had to learn all the songs that they already had, and then we have written more since I've joined. So it's just another layer of sound. I've switched amps and I've changed pedals and just trying to find my own sound within their sound, because I came from a primarily metal background, playing Metallica and Slayer and Avenged Sevenfold and Pantera and Iron Maiden.
All down
And
stroke.
all downstroke and active pickups to be now I'm using a thinner pick. I'm picking differently. Like I've had to adapt my style to fit them, but still not lose my roots of that. So I kind of bring that type of dynamic into what they're doing.
And just to add to Max's point, I think that really comes out in his songwriting too. You can hear our newer songs are just heavier.
Yeah.
They just are. And it's not like it's something that we're like, let's make a heavier sound. It just comes through in his metal roots. Although we're rock,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Just some
everybody's
sort of a
flavors
darker,
in
deeper
there.
feel to it, but it's not coming off like demonic, like this is too heavy to listen to. It just has I don't know how to explain it. It's just more of it's a
Meteor.
different tone.
Yeah, for sure.
Different
So to
tone.
answer your question, I gotta absolutely agree that our sound has changed. I mean, obviously, over 9 years, 10 years, whatever we've been playing together, we're obviously going to grow and mature as musicians.
Yeah, and I've been aware of you long enough. I mean, like we've known each other since before you were in Frail.
Right.
So I remember like seeing you guys playing cover songs and
Not doing it so
mixing
good.
in some of your own stuff, and I'm like, okay, I get this, but I wasn't sure waiting for new material what Frail sounded like. So
And we didn't know either.
Yeah.
And so again, to answer your question, yeah, our sound has definitely changed, Darcy, because now that we are a cohesive unit, that we can come up with an idea and come up with a song
Yeah.
and have it come together so quickly. Like I've never experienced that with another group of humans, where it's
Well,
the way we write and how quickly it comes together is just like, it makes your head dizzy and your heart race and your hair stand up.
like even with Hammerfist, I mean, we've told this story before, but we're just on a break and just like, having a little breather in between songs. I just had this idea in my head and I just started playing this riff over and over again, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I just made it up." And they're like, "Keep playing it." So I kept playing it, and then they're like, "Okay, well, now move it down." Like I just kept playing that same riff over and over again. Then Joel's like starts ripping something on the bass, and then Nathan starts doing this little fill. And then Laurie just starts playing on the drums, and he's like, "I got these new lyrics I just wrote like 3 days ago," and he pulls them up, and that's kind of how that song came together. It's changed like probably 10 times since it's started, but just like that, we had something that was like, this is going to be something. We hope it's going to be something special, but we really love that song, and it's probably one of our favorites.
Agreed.
I would say.
Yeah.
Well, from the day that I was hanging out with you guys at the rehearsal, obviously it was one of my favorites because it's one of the ones that are in this episode. So it
Enjoy.
floated.
Hopefully your new favorite too.
So, and speaking of lyrics, now you just mentioned like, but already having some lyrics that you're able to apply to a new song. So lyrically for the newer songs, is there a lot that's being taken from older writing sessions and other notes that you made for yourself, or is there newer lyrical content based on the fact that the whole world turned upside down a couple of years ago and things are a lot different than they used to be?
Yes, to both of those
Yeah.
questions.
Yes.
So, like, Nothing I'd Rather Do, the single, for example, that was lyrics written by Nate years and years ago. Like, and then, Hammerfist was brand new, on the spot. The lyrics that I had written 3 days ago was, this much.
Yeah.
And then the writing and the whole thing just kind of, it all just came out of me like
he had
water.
He had his phone out, and we're sitting there
Stop! Everybody quiet.
And he's just sitting there. I just see him going like this. And he's like, all right, I want to try this. And it was literally on the spot. And like I said, it probably changed a couple times since that, but it was just, that's how that came together. I mean, but like, he writes probably 95% of the lyrics, and then like I might send him a few things, and he'd be like, you can take this and do whatever you want with it. I don't care. It's just, here's some ideas. Like, I'll just dump, like, I'll have something on my phone, and I'll just dump them over to him and say, do what you want with them. Like, and same with Nathan. Nathan's had a book of goodies that he's brought in, and like I said, we don't really look at each other as, okay, well, that guy wrote the song and that guy wrote the song.
Sure.
We
It's
came
a collective,
together
for sure.
and we collaborated. So I mean, credit where credit's due, but in the end, we've all added something.
That's
As they say.
that's the perfect way to do it for a band.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
Well, I mean, all the jokes about, like, oh, the bass player wrote a song. Oh, good job, buddy. Yeah. But Pretty Girl is
probably one
fucking banger, you know, and it's a really great tune that the bass player brought to the group and was like, here's a little acoustic thing that I came up with, and then
but when
we did that thing.
When your bassist is Joel Boyce, though, I mean,
it's a banger.
It's a banger.
He's definitely changed us as musicians. He's definitely upped our game for sure in terms of musicianship.
Yeah, that's someone else that
Professionalism,
especially in Pictou County. Like, he's been around for so long that, like, he's been in a lot of different projects, and he's known by a lot of people around here.
Got a lot of miles under his tour belt.
Yeah, absolutely. So
That's invaluable.
You guys do seem to be sticking to regular rehearsals. Like, is that the key element for Frail as far as building yourself? Is it like you're almost like a little family at this point?
We definitely are.
Yeah.
So every Sunday, pretty much hell or high water, we're there, unless like I said, we're all family. It's basically
or wife schedules.
Yeah.
Or hockey schedule.
Or
Yeah.
fucking hockey schedules.
Yeah, but no, like I said, Sunday's basically the day because we all work during the week, and it's just trying what day can we all get together. I mean, he worked till 8:00, threw on his shoes, and came over here for the meeting, right? So it's like, hey, do you want to jam on Tuesday? No, can't. I work till 8. It's like, well, it is what it is. So,
yeah.
But we try to jam basically 3 to 4 hours every Sunday, and either like some weeks we run through our whole set list, where other times we'll be okay, we're working on these 3 things, or we're writing a new song. It's just we just try to manage our time as best we can. If we have shows coming up, we're going to focus on this is what we're playing at the show, and we'll bang that out. And now we're going into recordings. Now we're going to really focus on this. So it's just, managing everybody's time appropriately and putting the work in at home when we're not.
And if there's anyone watching this that checked out the couple songs that we included, and they're like, holy crap, I got to go see these guys. You already announced some live shows that are coming up.
Yeah.
But for MIkefest, being that's at the end of the summer and the furthest date out I can forecast, do you think by then that you guys will have some of those newer songs you're working on kind of finalized enough that you can throw some of them into your set?
I mean, ideally, yeah. I
am recording this. I can make it a commitment.
Yeah.
Jeph said.
Well, I mean, again, it comes down to that whole scheduling thing, right? One of them is already in there from here, which is kind of an acoustic thing that I do kind of in between sets just to kind of give the guys a little bit extra time to get on stage and whatever. But, we plan on developing that to hopefully be like a full band song and not just Jeph and an acoustic and a spotlight kind of thing.
Perfect.
But
what's the name?
Yes.
What's that one we changed the name of 50 times? Death of You to what?
End of You.
End of You.
That's another
that's
banger.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm quite proud of that and how the lyrics came together.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of experienced that in their lifetime. That one person that if happy as you are, you gotta realize that they're gonna be the death of you if you stick around.
Yeah, I think everybody can relate to some level of that.
So that'll definitely be something that we'll be working on for September, I think.
And where should we send people that want to follow the progress of what's going on with Frail throughout the summer?
Website, frail.band.
Perfect.
Or you can go to find us on Facebook, Frail.
Website is moving hosting, so if it's down right now, 24 to 48 hours for propagation there, folks.
We'll put a link down in the description here for people to click on, and I'll test it before we put this live.
Well, and Facebook's always going to be up. Zucky's never going to let us down, at Frail Band NS.
Perfect.
So and I think that's just all socials.
We put a lot of content out, ridiculous stuff, fun stuff. We make memes up about each other and just try to have fun with it. I mean, it's aside from just pushing out music down your throat all the time.
Just something fun to keep everyone engaged.
That's it.
Exactly.
So,
awesome.
We are doing things, I promise.
Yes.
Well, everybody should go out there and follow along, subscribe, share, like, all the regulars.
Come to the shows, please.
Yes.
That's why we're here doing this. We really love seeing you guys out there dancing, singing, sweating along right with us. So come to the shows. It's why we exist.
Absolutely. And if you see me in the crowd, you can stop by and say hi, and we can catch a couple Frail tunes together.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Darcy.
And
See you
we'll
guys
be
soon.
seeing you again soon.